lanza y eso regresó.
Viene para arriba. Acostados aquí. Acostados, acostados. You Chinese?
Yeah.
Joining us now, investigative reporter, Fox News contributor Lawrence Jones is with us, and Texas Congressman Dan Crenshaw. Dan, Lawrence, first of all, I know these really dumb people that are in our industry have a lot to say about what you're wearing now. Well, what they don't know is, or care to ask you before they write about it, is
the Border Patrol agent that's standing right here keeping us safe told me to put it on to keep us safe here. Just 2 weeks ago, a couple months ago, I'm sorry, there was a shooting. What people don't understand is that we control this side of the border, but the cartel controls the other side of the border. So there's been gunfights. I'm going in danger with these Border Patrol agents to report on this story. If the public doesn't know that over the last 2.5 years, there has been an uptick, over 200% violence against these agents. And so in order to do my job and the border agents' job, to do their job, I had to come with this vest that they supplied.
Right, and by the way, the Border Patrol, like, you could probably toss them your microphone right now and they can catch it. They're that close to you, correct?
That's exactly right. If I do something crazy, they're going to take me off here. So, look, they're doing excellent.
Yeah, and they're wearing the same equipment themselves, aren't they?
Actually, the one that I had on yesterday was safer than their equipment.
They care more about you.
That they have on currently. That's exactly right. And you know, Sean, you see some of the video. Last night, as we're going into the thick of it, we caught 2 Chinese nationals. Now, how in the world did they get to Mexico to get into this country? The cartel. They're paying $15,000 to $20,000 to make that trip. The entire time we've been here on the border, the agents have been giving me tips of fishermen that are really in with the cartel. Different times we shift to another area, the illegals will force their way to the other area. Last night we had breaking news during the middle of the show because those 2 guys, illegals, were trying to come across in the middle of the show. As soon as we got off air, the Border Patrol agent that you see that's behind me rushed out, and I got in another car, and we rushed right out there to push them back to the border. We didn't catch them, but we did make them return back to Mexico. That's the type of work these Border Patrol agents are doing. And by the way, Sean, real quickly, most of the time, these agents are by themselves. That means if they get into a gunfight or anything, they're by themselves. Another agent won't be able to get them till minutes later, and they can lose their life as a result of that. This is why we need the border wall system. Not only the wall, but the funding for the technology as well as more boots on the ground to help these guys.
You know, Dan, I've been to the border 12, 13, I don't know, so many times, helicopter, horseback, boats, all-terrain vehicles, seen arrests, drug warehouses. I tell the audience all the time. And so many of your colleagues in Congress have not been there. The area that we're talking about, the Rio Grande, literally it takes you 30 seconds to walk across shallow water. You leave Mexico, you're in the U.S. in 30 seconds and nothing stops you. Then once you get here, then you claim asylum. Then you're in the court system. And then that's overwhelmed now because everybody knows, uh-oh, these walls are going up. This president is serious. We see walls going up. So I'm not sure what part of this being a crisis, how many people have to die from drugs or violence by illegal criminal aliens, homicides, sexual assaults, violent assaults. We've chronicled the numbers. They're massive. It's only 2%, but 2% that are killing innocent people and hurting innocent Americans.
Yeah, that's absolutely right. I mean, just last month we're almost at 100,000 apprehensions. That's a huge amount of people. So whether they're good people or bad people doesn't really matter at this point. It's completely unsustainable for our system. We can't absorb that amount of people into our culture. We're in a free fall, as Secretary Nielsen said. So what are the solutions? The walls have been mentioned, physical barriers have been mentioned, technology has been mentioned. That's all true. We need an immediate solution. The president has talked about this a little bit this past week. We need to reform our asylum process immediately. We should not be accepting asylum in between ports of entry because it's clearly being taken advantage of. This is the step we have to take. This would have dramatic effects, by the way, because what was just mentioned earlier was the fact that drug cartels have complete operational control of the Mexican side of the southern border. They're making a killing off of this. They ask that people running across pay them money. Those people should not have to pay them money. They should go to the port of entry and actually claim it. Now, I am willing to have emergency funding go to extra detention facilities and extra immigration judges so that we can actually adjudicate those cases immediately. And if they're found not to be valid asylum cases, then they're sent back immediately. This would have dramatic effects. It would totally remove the incentives we're seeing. We need to do this immediately.
Yeah, all right. By the way, I'm looking at the video of Lawrence and I'm thinking, man, I hope he has off the bug spray. There's a lot of bugs flying around you right now. And, here the Border Patrol makes you wear this thing in the media. Here's what the big part is. They can attack you, but why don't they give you a phone call and you say, oh, yeah, they made me put this on. There's gunfire in the background.
Just call the Border Patrol, Sean.
Yeah, of course.
That's exactly right. Just call the men and women. That's exactly right.
And you've heard gunfire since you've been there.
Careful, Lawrence. That's how you lose an eye.
That's why I have it on there.
Yeah. All right. Thank you. Be nice if they just say, Lawrence, this is so-and-so from fake news. Will you confirm why you're wearing? Okay. They don't even have the decency to do that, as usual. All right, when we come back, we got a lot to get to, including the off-the-rails video of Ocasio-Cortez. Also, Chicago police demanding the city's top prosecutor be fired over the smoke.